All right, welcome to this week's episode of This New House. Today we're going to be getting our tractor ready for spring. Big project, but I have faith that you can all do it. So first thing we need to do is we need to detach the deck from the mower. So you got to make sure that your deck's all the way down, so it's laying on the ground. You'll need a pair of needle nose pliers because the first thing you have to do is you have to remove this cotter pin, and then you have to pull that lever to get the deck down. And then we'll pull the deck out from underneath the mower. First thing I'm going to do is pull that cotter pin. Don't lose that cotter pin, it has to go back in. Also, don't lose the washer that's on it. Then you come up to the front. Pull the handle here, and the deck just lifts off. Next thing you need to do is make sure you detach the belt from the pulley in the front. That's why we drop the front last. There's our belt drop. Then the deck slides. Set that there for right now when we get our oil draining. So to drain the oil, Simplicity's done a nice job for us. They gave us this petcock here. So we're going to use two 8-inch crescent wrenches because you don't want to spin this thing out of the tractor itself. So that one's going to be our big one. This one's going on our small nut here. Righty tighty, lefty loosey. Break it loose, turn it out with your fingers, and then once you got that unplugged, under your oil cap to let some air get down in there.
Honey, are you actually gonna mow the lawn today?
Probably not. Just gonna get the tractor ready to mow the lawn today.
Okay, just curious because our grass is rather high. Love you.
We'll love you too. So while that's draining, let's go ahead and take our blades off of our mower. All right, next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take the blades off because they need sharpened because they're all nicked up. So you're gonna need a piece of wood in here as a stopper. You can use a 2x4, you can use whatever. This is a 5/8" socket. You're just gonna stop the blade and get it broke loose. Now for each one of these, you're gonna have to find a part or point where you can actually get that blade stopped without really bending up your blade. So for all three of these, it's a different point.
What's that thing in your left hand there, Mr. Dunlap?
It's a 5/8" socket on a 1/2" drive. That way I have more force than a 3/8" drive. And you're gonna fight with some of these. Find as far as finding your placement for your piece of wood so it stays. But as soon as I get all these broke loose, now it's just a matter of actually taking the bolt off. Now on this particular mower, if you've noticed, I've cleaned the deck so I have access to things. There's two washers. There's a flat washer and a round washer. The flat washer goes on the bottom with the nut on top. And if you notice that gray on there, I put never sees on these so I can take them off and on pretty easy each year. Then just pop your blade off and continue on. Okay, you can stop right there until I get. All right, guys, now we're gonna sharpen the blade. So I brought you into my workshop. We're gonna use a tabletop vise for this. So I chuck up my blade, more than half of it sticking out. Now, you don't want a razor's edge, so you're going to take a bastard file and you're going to sharpen along the edge. We're only going to do one side. And you're trying to stay with the rake of this blade. I'm going to come down so I can get the end out here. got a nice sharp blade, then what you want to do is you want to take your file, go over it twice. The reason is we want to knock off that sharp edge because that sharp edge will actually chip. So then what you do, after you get done with that, take a nail, still using your vise, and we're going to balance this blade. So what that means is we're looking for it to stay level left to right. Okay, so that blade's actually pretty good. So I'll bring you back here in a few minutes whenever I get the other ones done, and we'll go back to putting them back on the mower. All right, next thing we're going to do is we're going to grease the mowing shafts and all the greasable parts on the tractor. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here. And you want to use a high-speed grease for this because these are zinging around quite quickly. I'm going to put about 10 squirts in each one, so I don't want to blow out the seals. Then there's a fitting on top that you got to catch also. It's over here. It's on this little tensioner shaft. That one didn't go in. Okay, so we got everything greased. Now it's time to put and check and make sure that none of your other pulleys have grease fittings. None of these do. Let's go in and grease the tractor. All right, next we grease the front wheels, carriers. You want to grease these until you see grease pop right out the top. You're going to see grease squeeze right out the top here. There it is. So we know that that's greased. But before you do that, don't move this yet because we haven't resealed that up. Go ahead and put your plug back in. Make sure that's clean. We'll go ahead and tighten that back up. And then I actually tuck it up in there so that it's this side your way. Now let's get everything underneath the tractor.
What are you doing under there again?
There's two pulleys under here that you need to grease. So I just went ahead and greased those. Okay, so that takes care of all of our grease fittings on this particular tractor. Now we need to change out the oil filter. So I run what's called a Napa Gold filter because I think they're one of the best ones. Take your oil pan over to the side of the filter on it. Now there's no drain for this particular filter and it's kind of at a weird angle, so it's definitely going to run down the side of the tractor, or the tractor frame. So undo that as quickly as you can. Get that off there. Now for the new filter, even when you're changing the oil in your car, do this. Take a little bit of the oil, put it on this rubber seal right here. Now make sure that this seal came off with the old filter. My dad had an instance on his truck where it did not, and leaked out 6 quarts of oil in about 5 miles. Hand tight. Okay, we're ready to put some motor oil back in this bad boy. Okay, you can cut it right there. All right, guys, welcome back. We're gonna put our blades back on. Now, because these blades see, grass and water and everything else, we're gonna just coat our blades or our bolts with never sees. That way we can get these back apart whenever we want to do this again.
What's never sees?
Never sees is something that was invented to prevent stuff from corroding together.
Is that gray goop?
Yes. So you line up your flat washer with the edges of the blade, and then we're going to torque these down to 90 foot-pounds because it's a 5/8 bolt, and that's what the spec sheet that was recommended for it. Alright guys, so what we're going to do next is we're going to torque our blades down. Now the spec on these is 90 foot-pounds, so I'm going to use my torque wrench that I have set to 90 foot-pounds. And you go till it clicks. Again, you're going to use your wooden block to keep your blades from spinning. So this one's always the most fun over here because of how it sits in there. And there isn't really a good spot to stop it. So we're going to rely on that right there as our stopping point. Kids and their stuff. Always all over the place. There's our 90 foot-pounds. Now, last thing you're going to do is you're going to clock your blades. So by clocking it means we're setting up a balance. So if you look, I have the middle blade going straight up and down, and I have my two blades on the outsides perpendicular. So when these rotate, they're actually going to balance themselves within the mower. All right? So when we come back, we'll get this back on the mower itself. We're ready to mow. All right, guys. Last thing I did was I slid the deck back under and reversed that first process. Put the cotter pin back in, reattached my belt, and set the clip up front. Now right here's your fuel filter. I'm not going to replace this year because I went ahead and replaced it last year. So, that's how you get your mower ready for spring. Thanks for tuning in to the next episode of This New House. Until next time.